My name is Kennedy Ng, and I am very happy to present to you tonight the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, which will be an option for the community to know the good things that happen in this beautiful city.
The city of Union City, a cosmopolitan city where almost all of us have seen each other. We are like a large family that through the management of our representatives, they help our citizens. And our people do volunteer work because they know that the city is run by a mayor who has shown that he is not the common politician, but that he works for his community. This program is an extension of information where we are going to have participation of personalities from the public and private sectors so that they can keep us informed of the community. May that be educational activities and everything that benefits us.
Good evening, Union City, the Dream City. As every Sunday at 7 p.m., the Dream City has a special guest, and tonight we have one of my favorite friends in Union City, Mr. Antonio Ibarria. He has a lot of information to give to the community and the Dream City. Mr. Antonio, Tony, cariñosamente.
Es un placer, gracias por tenerme aquí.
Very good. You prefer to do the interview in English or Spanish?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
I don't know.
How you doing? Let's do it in English.
I'm doing fine. Thank you for inviting me.
And we are here in the Dream City, Union City, to provide information and to talk about you.
By me personally.
Yes, and the things that you have done through the years.
Well, I hope I can remember.
I know. You are a very smart man, okay? Tony, can you tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, the only thing I can tell you, I came here when I was young, an educator. I went to school, and I work in the factory, and I work in a manufacturer where I make 90 cents an hour.
Wow.
And I learned how to be a barber in Cuba. I was only 18 years old when I came here. And my father taught me that I had to be a barber. So I work in the factory, and the factory burned down, and I find another job in a plastic company, and then I make $1 an hour.
Wow.
And then give me every month they used to give me 10 cents because I was a good worker. And I was, the people like me, and they gave me a raise.
Tony, what year did you come to the United States?
1955.
1955. And I understand one of the first job that you have was like kind of a door-to-door milk delivery?
No, the first one was the factory, 90 cents an hour. Then I worked as a barber, and then I built a business, door-to-door milk company.
Wow.
So I was barber, and then I was delivering milk.
So you have done more what I imagine.
Yes.
And that's very good. Tony, really, why did you come to the United States?
I fell in love with the young lady in Cuba, and she came in 6 months before I came because her father wanted to have 5 girls, and they wanted a future for them. And then I had a cousin, Elizabeth, and we fixed the paper, and I came down, and I got married 9 months later.
Wow, that
was quick.
Very quick. So you fell in love.
I fell in love with it.
Love is in the air.
Yes.
Tony, tell me about, because I read your biography, very interesting. We talk about the different companies that you have, about the hairdresser, the bakery, the store department, the furniture store, and Tony House. Tony House, what is Tony House?
Well, I have a tremendous story, but I was involved in the community. I become a little leader with the Puerto Rico and the Cubans. I helped organize the Puerto Rico, the club, and I helped the Cuban club, and then I have eventually opened a barber shop, and then I brought my father, my mother, and then my brother, and I give it when my brother came in, I say, if you want to become to United States, you gotta learn how to be barber. So he learned a couple of months. So when I came down, I already have a restaurant, then I have a bakery, then I took my sister and I put him in.
A 100% businessman.
Yeah, we opened the dry cleaning, and I started helping the Cuban, and then opened a department store to sell all types of clothing, and women and men's, and I used to give credit.
Wow, and that was important by that time. You have to have a credit, because by that time the Latinos, we didn't have the opportunity.
The bank nobody give loan. We went to a bank to trying to give loan. It was very difficult to do that. Then I had started having family, and then I opened a phone store. The Polish people was leaving town, and the Cuban was coming, and so I opened a phone store in
Elizabeth, and then you gave credit to those people that couldn't pay in one shot.
Yeah, well, I opened a phone store in Elizabeth. I opened another one in Elizabeth, 815 Elizabeth Avenue, called one La Casa Tony, and then I opened another one.
I heard about it.
La Moda.
La Moda.
Then I opened one in Newark. Then I opened another one in Union City. Then I opened a movie house in Summit Entertainment.
And the movie theater was in Summit Avenue in Union City.
Correct. And then I opened another store called La Moda in 32nd Street, across the street from the restaurant, the big restaurant.
I got it.
And then I opened another furniture store in Elizabeth, and then I opened a warehouse in Elizabeth, and I opened another furniture store, and everybody came into a Philadelphia, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and a lot from Miami. Everybody used to come in, and I saw air conditioner, refrigerator, everything, the appliances in the house, and then furniture, mattress, everything they need. I was able to sign for them. I co-sign for them.
And that's what makes you a good man and a great man.
Yeah, but I was ignorant because I should never did that. So I was doing that 10 years. And 10 years after I was doing that, you can imagine, have 9 furniture stores. 1 week I sold about 3,000 air conditioners.
Wow.
And all in credit.
Wow.
And the system I have with different companies.
People don't imagine the important thing. By that time, people didn't have the money, and you gave credits to those families.
Everybody. I was.
Tony, tell me something about 1970. I understand that you opened the Hispanic newspaper El Clarín. Can you talk briefly about that?
Well, I had a friend of mine. He ran for congressman, Raúl Comesaña. Then he became a priest, but he worked with me, and we opened a paper. He was directing the paper, El Clarín, because I wanted, give help to the community. We opened a Cuban club. We opened a Cámara de Comercio.
And that was a newspaper in Spanish.
In Spanish.
Very good. That newspaper was in New York, or
no? That particular one was only in New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
Only New Jersey.
And then after that. And you talk about the Tony Cinema that was in Summit Avenue, but when the El Especial then started, after the El Clarín?
I saw the movie house 10 years later. My accountant said, Tony, you gotta go under. And Cuban bankrupt is terrible. Bad. So what I did was I started closing a store, paying. Close store. And then I left without credit, and I sold everything. Then I went to Miami.
So you sold all the businesses that you have, right. And then you went to Miami. Before the Especial.
And my credit was bad. I don't have no credit.
Wow.
But I had a movie house I sold, and I invested the money in a cigarette company.
A cigarette company.
I bought a factory and I put a warehouse.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and then I have my two children in Miami. They went to store selling the cigarettes, and there was very success because I put the factory and the warehouse, and I have a Cuban guy was producing the cigar for me.
Okay.
And then he received a letter from Philip Murray that he had to close
The business.
the business because they had the name registered.
Okay.
New York Light.
There was a conflict with the name.
Yeah, with the name. So I went there and they told, I was not able to do that, so I closed. I lost everything. So I opened a agency.
All right. And then from there is because we are here in Union City and we
No, I was in
know-
Union City
Yeah,
then.
no,
I was in
and-
Union City.
And we know a lot about El Especial and El Especialito. One of the reasons that you are here in Union City, the Dream City, because I wanted to get there. When El Especial came to Union City or to New Jersey?
Okay. The El Especial was born in Union City because what happened, I started the advertising agency and I made a lot of money because
Okay.
I was selling Univision, Telemundo, El Diario, all they used to barter. I used to give them, buy things for them, car, limousine, whatever they need, or promotion. So I did all that for them, and they used to give me 2-to-1. In other words, and then I made a lot of money.
Good business strategies.
Yes. But every time a new manager came in, they start to cut you off. So I had when I lost everything, I lost newspaper and everything at Clarín. So I say I'm going to open my own newspaper. And I opened El Especial.
El Especial.
I opened El Especial in 45th Street. And then I was tremendous. And then at that time, I want to copy El Carnaval de...
And we're gonna talk about that Carnival, the Carnival of Union City. And I was reading about, and I was already here in Union City. I remember back in the years that I used to, to be listening to the music, the different musical groups, and most of the people in Union City and the Hudson County know you because El Especial newspaper, especially the new generation. You have been great to the community. You have been great to Union City, and we love you.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to hear this word, compliment. Also, when I came here, I was very active. And Elizabeth used to be I helped the mayor to become mayor. And he used to sit down with me every week. And everybody who he knew,
Like an advisor, yeah?
I was an advisor. He needed a chauffeur. I got a chauffeur, Cuban chauffeur. He needed education. He needs somebody. I was very instrumental. And then I did a Cuban club in Elizabeth. I organized a Cuban club that still existed.
And you know what? Sometimes we see a person walking, Bergenline Avenue, see Tony, and a lot of people don't know the great things that you have done for the community, for the people that comes from our countries. I mean, giving them the opportunity to work in Especialito, in years back on those companies that you had. I know because I know you for many, many years, and the city and the administration know you, the good things that you have done for our community, for Union City, and for Miami and part of the United States. And I wanted to tell the community, Union City, the Dream City, when they see you, I mean, you deserve some type of respect.
Well,
okay?
Thank you. But let me say it to you. Also, when I came to Union City, I was very active. In the 70s, they wanted to put me to run for mayor.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I don't want to be in politics. Yeah, I have a writing about they want me to run for, what I mean?
And what year was that?
In 1970, 71. And then after that...
Who was the mayor by that time? Do you remember?
I think it was a...
Musto? Oh, no,
no,
before.
Musto, yeah. Then, when I came to Union City, a group of people wanted me to run, but we organized the Chamber of Commerce,
Okay.
La Federación Hispana.
Federación
And I
Hispana.
was very instrumental with several leaders there, and we opened. They still open the Chamber of Commerce, and then I was very close to the bank to open a bank here, Ponce. The guy who owned it was very close to my, and I helped all the people who wants to mortgage. People used to work in the bank. They no give a mortgage
That
to
was
them.
Ponce Bank?
It was Ponce, and he was in Bronx, and I helped all the Cubans, Puerto Rico, every nationality. They came to me, and I took there. He opened all the mortgages here in town.
That was a great assistance.
And he decided to, a doctor who's a friend of mine, Dr. Rodriguez, they want to open a bank. And a big bakery, rich people from Spain, they got together, and we help. I get together with them, and then they apply for a bank in Union City. And then we fought the government. 5 lawyers in Union City that was fighting to not to open the bank. So I was instrumental
For
go
that.
there and talk to see if the Puerto Rico, if the Italian, Jewish, everybody have why we cannot have bank. At that particular time, there was about 2% working in the bank.
Okay.
In 1969, and you know what happened? After they approved, the guy called me Cantinflas because I was talking to you, Ram.
That's okay.
That's the way I am. So they called me, but the bank was approved,
Wow.
and they opened the bank.
What was the name of the bank? The same Ponce or the
Pan American,
or the-
Pan American Bank.
Yes, because I read about Pan American that you were very instrumental,
No, I
but
got
I
it.
didn't know
No,
the
I got it.
history.
I got the
behind.
letter from everybody. You know what I mean. And I know it was. I not even was involved with that. The bank, but you know, I helped them.
Look, Tony, the reason that you are here because you providing a lot of information that people don't know. They didn't know that.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
they know because I know when my mother came to New York, Union City, she used to tell me about the Pan American Bank and everything. Now I know from where this
Yeah,
bank
yeah, yeah.
came from. Let me tell you something. You mentioned it back in 1987, 88, the Bergenline Carnival, the carnival, musical carnival.
Okay, you know, I still with my advertising agency. I was making money. I had a lot of air, and I want to copy Miami, La Calle 8, which is tremendous.
Now I understand.
And then I put it together, and we launched the carnival. And the city don't want it. The city don't want it. But I convinced them, and I lost $150,000. This year, I put another year. El gordo de West New York, El Meya.
The mayor.
¿Cómo se llama él?
I don't remember that, but I remember. He used to be in a big car. And, you know,
Yeah. So he called. He wants me. You know. So it was hard to me to get through the permit. But we did the second year, and we have done the biggest carnival ever in the metro area. Not Union City, in the metro area. No place in New York. You can go to the park and think how big, but this was in the street.
it was huge.
There was from 32nd to the second one to 60 songs. That was packed from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night.
It was a Sunday.
Sunday.
I remember that day. I'm gonna tell you because that day was my graduation from college, my bachelor degree, and we came to Bergenline, one of the restaurants. When we saw that crowd at Bergenline, it was music in every corner, people happy, That was huge.
I got hundred some kiosks and
That was huge.
Mira, everybody was back. Everybody.
I remember.
And you know, and Tony, one guy said to me, Tony, why you lie? Why you say if something not happen? You know, if you want to see, and you want to call me and tell me this stuff, you look at YouTube and look Carnival 87 of Bergenline.
That's
You
good.
go to YouTube and you will see, you have to see to the end, because if you see the chat, the Jersey Jonas say, this is a sea of people, un mar de gente.
Have you thought about it, bringing the carnival
No,
Union City one more time?
no. The reason was I lost another 50,000, so I lost 200,000.
But sometimes we lose money. We lose money, but
the city, you know, the city stopped me because you can imagine how many people was here. The car, the buses.
Tony,
It was
Tony,
not
the Latinos, we used to enjoy those type of.
Oh, I know,
carnivals, block parties.
But when I lost a lot of money, and they
Forget about the money.
But good thing at that time. I had money.
Let me tell you. Sometimes we lose money in business, but we get it back in other things. That's why you are here. Forget about the money, because the money comes and goes. Okay.
No, I know.
You are a person that we respect you for what you have done, and that's what counts. Let me tell you about when the newspaper named Hoy newspaper. It was around after the Carnival.
I will explain to you. After I lost more money in the Carnival, took me about 6 years to recoup, and I started El Especialito.
Okay, that was the son of the El
El
Especial.
Especial, son del Especial, and that was very good because I opened free paper so everybody can take the paper. And I opened Brooklyn, Bronx, Washington High, Jackson High, El Barrio, Lower Side, West Side, Hudson, Passay, Exit, Junior, Mire X.
That was a hit.
I got 13 newspaper, and then I want to do a national paper. I want to do a national paper. I want to be Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles. I was crazy.
And that's why the Hoy newspaper came to the United States.
I went to Times Mirror. Times Mirror is one of the most rich, one of the most rich paper in the country, the biggest. And me, you know, some guy that never went to school, talk to them and say, look, I want to do a paper in Miami, Los Angeles, Chicago, and I came to you because you have the money and I have the idea. Yeah, but we have a lot of papers. I convinced them to join with me. So I got together with them because I had a friend of mine who had an appointment with the publisher of the paper. And we sit down in the restaurant. I want a paper, and this, how much money you're gonna need, and everything else. And they say, look, don't even talk because we're not gonna do. We're gonna buy a diario. So when I left there, I want to cry because to get together with this deal to only believe they was gonna be, they're gonna do that. That was great. So I left. 2 months later, they called me. They said, Tony, your idea, the open national paper Spanish, you can do it 6 months. I said, no, I can do it in 2 months. I have a place in Union City and Bergenline Avenue, and I can do it in 2 months.
Because you have the experience
From the so what do you need? Well, you're gonna need maybe $3 or $4 million, and you did, you're gonna need more money. And what do you want? Well, I want a salary, and I want a 50%, and everything else. So next day, the Daily News, Newsday, come out in the paper. Antonio Ibarria and El Especial and Newsday will launch a national paper.
Wow.
A 50-50.
That's what we call it A+.
50-50. So when the paper 2 weeks later, they agree with me and everything, and when the paper came in, my lawyer called me and said, Tony, it's wrong. They put 45 for you, 55 for them. And then
Let's reverse.
we went to a 42nd Street in the big lawyer place there. I was there by myself, and I asked, this is wrong, my lawyer don't want me to sign. Say, Tony, these people are multimillionaire. You say make $500 million a year. Do you think they're gonna do something to you? No, they might buy you paper later. They give you $20-30 million. He convinced me, and I signed.
And that's great. Tony,
And we launched the paper, and the paper was in Union City for 6 months, and then they want to move to New York. They want to, show the Especial New York, and we start, working for Chicago, Los Angeles, and then they want to bring some other people something. They want to, and I got mad, and then what do you make? You want to sell your part? I said yes, I want to sell my part, and he say, we give you $2 million. So I went to my lawyer. He said, they're not going to give you $2 million. I was so ignorant, uneducated, that I said yes. And I took it. I could have asked them for $10-15 million. They should have given it to me.
things happen.
Things
It's the
happen.
balance.
Happened to the best of the family.
Exactly, but the good things that you are here, you're being successful.
Yeah.
Before we ending, what is Safe Latin America? Very brief.
When I got to Miami, I was sitting with my family. I say, someday, education is the more important thing. If I ever make money, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna help the parents, the fathers, the mother. I'm gonna educate them, help them, for the children not be like me. And I started in 1992. I started Save Latin America. I had a guy by the name Israel Romero who helped me because Israel Romero was one of the most wonderful leaders I know in Union City because he helped a lot of people.
Wow. I'm going to do a promise to you that we're going to do a second interview just about Save Latin America. I know that non-profit organization has been doing terrific, helping the community, especially the Hudson County community. And that's going to be the interview number 2. Okay.
Yes.
Before ending, anything that you can add to Union City, the Dream City, that maybe we didn't cover?
Well, the only thing I can tell you, this is my town. I love this town, and I can tell you that we have a great mayor, Brian Stack, and he always surrounded with good people.
Number
and
one.
you was one of the work with him. You know what I mean? And I never saw in my life. I used to work with Tom Dom and Elizabeth, and with the guy in Newark. I never saw a mayor in any city, and they work like this guy. The way he helped the community.
Mayor Stack is unique.
Stack is unbelievable.
The good things about this interview is that we have learned about what you have done in the past and really what you're still doing for the people in here. And I really appreciate that you took the time for Union City, the Dream City, and this educational program. Well, I hope you enjoyed this program, the Union City, the Dream City, here in New Jersey. And I hope you enjoy next week, the Dream City, as every Sunday, 7 p.m. My name is Kennedy NG.